Showtime, it said. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so we're just gonna wait for everybody to load up in here. While we wait, I'm gonna light this blunt. Happy 420, everybody.
Happy
That's
420.
listening.
Hi. I'm not even ready for this part.
I have two parts that I'm ready. I've got a Eureka Vapor. This show's not sponsored by Eureka, but I do rep them. So if you're in Colorado or California, I just held that upside down twice. Find you some Eureka Vapor out there. And if you're in Colorado and it's not in your dispensary, call me. I'll get it in there.
They're good. They're yummy. I do
They're
have
real
to
yummy.
say, those as much as I hate the word disposable in terms of like like disposable stuff. It's just
Yeah.
I love how everything is the handheld, the
Yeah.
sweetness of it, the flavor.
We call it grab and goes.
Yeah.
I like calling them grab and goes. That sounds better, right?
Good afternoon,
Good
Kelly.
afternoon. If you're here, say hello. I like calling them grab and goes because it sounds better than disposables, and that's what they are. You don't have to like push a button or anything. You just grab it, you open it, you go.
And yeah, so
And if the battery dies, you just recharge it. It's a rechargeable battery on those, so it's nice.
So for someone who, like myself, who has not been, big onto pens or anything like that, it does make things super easy. What up, my friends?
What's up? What's up? I'm not big into pens usually either, but I love these. These actually get me really stoned. Like they're really good. And also, I haven't tried this, but I don't know if you can do it on the disposables. I mean, it's just a click in. The top just clicks in. So if you could get that off, you could probably refill it too. And we have syringes. So
right. So yeah, so I
follow me for more tips.
Exactly. See, these are the things that I like for people, just eco-conscious when we're talking about our industry and the way that packaging goes and the way that cartridges and batteries and coils and cetras, it's just like how
they
can
all
we
end up in a landfill, y'all.
Yeah, how can we use it to its fullest extent? How can we
right. So we got good evening, everybody. We got a few watchers, so I guess this would be a good time to let you guys know that it is about that time. You are about to get highly educated with the Cannabis Closet podcast with Canna Queen and MJ. This is an adult content show with no limitations on subject, language, or actions. Opinions, views, and expressions may or may not be that of the hosts and their subsidiaries, but if you aren't sure, you can ask us. And if you're still not sure, just take a good look at our faces. They're probably going to tell you. It's time to get this session started. So thanks for rolling up and showing up. And let's get this show started. I mean, we kind of already did. We already got kind of into it.
Everyone joined us early.
I love it. It's because there's women in the house. That's why. We do have guests today. We have Hava Gardens today. Super excited to talk to them. Very knowledgeable women in the industry. Of course they are, because we all are. So yeah, we're super excited about that. But we have a few show notes to cover before we get there.
Oh, I didn't even open those up.
You open those up. She was like, I do not even
care. I had my technical difficulties beforehand.
Early before she got here. She already had them, so maybe we'll be good for the rest of the show.
Broken ring light.
I was like,
snafus.
She just froze up, but she'll be back in a minute. Don't worry about it.
Figure it out. For some reason, my internet always defaults to the free Xfinity. That doesn't actually give you it'll give you
a real,
yeah. And then at whatever point, it's like burp, burp.
Yes, I'm mad about something today. I'm mad about something today. Y'all already know. Look at you coming in here starting. He's like, let's get talking about it then. Let's talk about what you're mad about. You know what I'm mad about. What do you think I'm mad about today?
We have our show notes. How do you know what's going on?
What do you think I'm mad about today? Let's start there. You ready?
You have guesses? Are we taking guesses?
Are we taking guesses about what I'm mad about today? I think we'll get some partially right answers because Yeah. Because it's
I'm into the comments, our friends. Like,
I know we're on a delay. That's why I'm kind of pausing a little bit.
Yeah,
we're on a delay. Oh, it's not Spectrum today. No, but you know what they did? They sent me, I mean, are you in my text messages too? They sent me a text today and it said that they would give me a free line for a year. No, free, unlimited line. Free.
But then what's the next year? Did it say?
But what does it cost me next year? Right. So we're going to discuss it. I might call them and see what that looks like, because we want to get a line for just specifically for Queen Kitty, you know? So maybe, I don't know, but they are not pissing me off today. So, I mean, but since you brought it up, let's talk about what's pissing me off today. It's not exactly what you think, but it does have to do with the trending topic today. So there's that. It's upsetting that this is what's trending, but here we are. So for anybody that has not opened the internet today, I did finally get my right phone. Yes, thank you for asking. She's right here. There she is. She's beautiful. Today, if you have not opened the internet today, then you would not know that last night on the Oscars, which I do not watch, Will Smith went up on stage and slapped shit out of Chris Rock. Right there in front of the whole world.
My sister texted me and then you texted me just a few minutes after.
I just saw it on the internet. I wasn't even watching the Oscars. I had no idea what was going on.
I neither. My sister texted me and was on that. So, because she does. So,
yeah. So the slap heard around the world. Yes. Or seen, or both. So
the echo, yeah, especially because obviously.
So that open stage, right? You heard all of it, right? So, okay, listen, I'm not going to say I condone violence, but I do condone standing up for your loved ones. So there's that. There's a couple of pieces to this. I don't really give a shit about the slap, but I will put, since we're talking about, I put my 2 cents in. Should he have slapped him? No, he should have fucking held his anger. That's some shit. Go to therapy about that, sir. But also, would I have slapped him? Yes, myself. If you would have said some shit about my hair, listen, my hair is very important to me, and I'm a white woman. Okay. If you could say that we have a culture, our culture does not hold our hair in super high regard as a culture, but Black women do. Native and men too. Native men and women do, right? And so when we talk about, I think this is a great opportunity to talk about alopecia and bring awareness to what that is and what that looks like for people and how hard that is mentally and physically on people. So I think that's this was maybe a good segue into that conversation, but maybe violence isn't the answer. But also, if Chris Rock had been talking shit about my hair, my husband, Will Smith, would not have had to get up out of that damn seat. I would have taken me and my gown up on that stage and beat shit out of him in front of everybody myself. And I wouldn't have just slapped him across his face. I'd beat shit out of him. Cause I'm violent sometimes.
She chooses violence.
Sometimes I wake up and choose violence.
Be aware.
No, but like on the real of it, I'm not condoning that. And I'm joking, of course. I'm joking around. But I'm not condoning that at all. But I'm also saying that, be careful about what you bring out your mouth, because you could get slapped across your fucking face. And he didn't close fist him. Like that was an embarrassing thing. That wasn't like he was trying to like hurt him. He was trying to hurt his pride. Like he slapped shit out of him. He didn't punch him. He could have knocked him out. He could have KO'd him right there on that stage. He didn't do that. So that's that. But that aside, this is what makes me none of that pisses me off. That's
what I asked my sister, because my sister messaged me, about it happening. And then right after that, she said, then Will won Best Actor. And I was like, so was the slap for real? Or was it?
Here's my take on that.
Like, no, it was for real. She's like, she clarified, no, it was for real. She's like, that's separate. But I was like,
But also, doesn't the Oscars have a 2-minute delay? So why didn't they cut to commercial? Why did we hear him say, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth? Why did we hear the fucking? Why did we hear that? Like, why is that? So, I mean, possibly it could have been staged for publicity. Chris Rock hasn't been in the news lately, but he's getting some bad publicity right now. Like, I just saw a video of him with Louis C.K. just bouncing the N-word off of each other. It was really gross and disgusting. And, Ricky Gervais was in the room, and then Jerry Seinfeld was the only one that was like, this is super uncomfortable. And he can't say that, like, you know, so it's kind of like that. But I, you know, it could be a publicity stunt. It could be a publicity stunt for Jada, right? Now people are talking about alopecia, right? So that could be a thing. I don't know, but I don't care about any of that. Yes, I have opinions, but I honestly don't even care. The part that bothers me is that anytime, here it is, y'all, if y'all been watching this show long enough or follow me on social media, you know that I am polyamorous. Okay. That means many loves. That's what that means. Okay. And so I have a real problem. It kind of triggers me a little bit. I don't know, but I have a real problem with every time that Will and Jada are in the news, we got to talk about their marriage and their marriage arrangement, which is an open marriage arrangement, and how it emasculates the man in the relationship. Like, you don't even know this man, right? And then calling her a cheater. No, probably not. Now, can you cheat in an open relationship? Yes. You can. Yes, you can. Let me just clarify. In an open relationship, you do potentially have more than one love, but it's all about honesty and open communication. So you don't lie to your other partners about your partners, right? You keep an open line of communications, very much about love and trust and respect. Okay. So could she be a cheater? Yes, she could be. Likelihood, not. Y'all don't know what their marriage is. It's an open marriage. Stop judging it. It triggers me. I hate it. That's what I'm mad about today. Because I'm in an open marriage and I'm not cheating on my husband. I'm not cheating on my husband in my other relationships. He knows about those relationships. I'm very open and honest with him about those relationships. And he with me about other relationships that he has from time to time, on occasion.
Well, that is part of, you know, again, when it's a conversation. It's not like you just get to do what you want to do. Right. You have agreements with your partners. I mean, so much like people, you know, I've had couples that had contracts. They've like literally had it on, or had Post-it notes on the refrigerator of these are the boundaries and don't go over them.
Exactly.
You know, like.
Right. And if we want to set new boundaries or pull back on some of these, we can sit down and have the discussion and do that thing. If you guys watch You on Netflix, there's this whole thing in season 3 where like this one couple is like open and into being with other couples, but they like when they went to go talk to them, they brought a contract to the table and they're like, and it was like thick too. It was they're like, yeah, no lawsuits, babe. What are you mixing?
Made my pink drink.
Okay, what is it? Tell us.
That's the final product. All right.
It's beautiful.
I'm sure my table's here. Okay. So today
we're doing a taste test.
We're doing a little, tasting a little mixer. Got the Queen Kitty bubblegum seltzer. 10 milligrams of CBD in there. And so I did about half the can. Maybe like a third. And then this is from the makers of this, but it's
our producers,
our producers, and it's a I don't even know.
I don't know how he said 100 in that whole bottle, right?
Okay.
Yes.
But it's
THC.
It's THC.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a strawberry flavor.
She said, I think it doesn't have bubbles in it. That one doesn't.
That one does not have bubbles.
It does with yours. How is it? She just made a 1-to-1 with that, basically.
It's lovely. That is really good.
I love that face.
Like all summer long. Like it's like a nice little pink drink. Like I taste like pink. That's about how
I taste like pink.
Tastes like pink.
Some of y'all know what that tastes like. What?
So, but what I also have, Since our bubble gum is it's a strawberry pineapple essence botanicals.
I don't care what nobody says, that shit tastes like bubble gum.
To us, it is straight pink bubble gum.
And my whole car smelled like bubble gum today.
Right. And so I happened to be at the candy store with my niece and my sister, and this was in the refrigerator. So I picked it up.
Lots of sugar in that one.
This is straight sugar. It is
not a natural botanical like ours. No.
Yeah,
yes.
It's just sugar. I don't know.
Sugar. Yeah, we don't have to ask. It's Bazooka Joe.
It's Bazooka Joe. I mean, it's 42 grams of sugar in this bottle. There are some other CBD seltzers out on the market that have 25 grams of sugar in their CBD soda. That's gross.
That's crazy.
And what do you think about caffeinated CBD soda?
Yeah, what do you guys think about caffeinated CBD? I don't know. I find it a little odd, but tell us everything.
It does smell like that plasticky pink smell. Yeah, that plasticky bubble gum smell.
Like the baseball card?
Yeah. Like they were.
Let's go. Do it. Taking one for the team. Oh, that face. Oh my God. Look at her face, y'all. It's not good. It is not good. Does it taste like Bazooka Joe?
No.
Oh.
It tastes like biting into wax with a plastic.
She said, no, I just quit caffeine. She's like, do not put caffeine in your drinks. I just quit. We're not putting caffeine in our drinks. We're just curious what you guys think. I don't think it's a good idea. Oh, that face on the, don't get the Bazooka Joe drink. Get ours. Ours tastes like bubble gum. Theirs tastes like plastic. There it is.
We'll do it.
Okay. Before we get our guests on, I know they're anxious to get on here. I want to do our moment in women's history, our moment in Black history today. And today I want to come back. Okay. I want to honor and talk about a current affair. Current affairs. Let's talk about Kitanji Brown Jackson. Let's talk about her. Mic drop for her. First of all, she was recently nominated to be a Supreme Court justice. Where is it? There it is. And she is hella qualified. So I'm not going to get way into this, y'all. She got a whole Wikipedia page and it is way full. But she is an American attorney. She served as a federal judge on the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit Court since 2021. Current, I think, did they pass her? Not her nomination passed through. This might be outdated. Somebody tell me. But she was recently nominated for Supreme Court Justice, awaiting a Senate confirmation. Now, I was watching because I don't pay attention to news every day anymore because it's bad for my mental health. But I was watching kind of what was going on, and they came after her, right? She is an absolutely amazing, amazing presence of a woman. She's very educated and she is very equipped to do this job, actually more so than anybody else on the Supreme Court right now. She has had her whole career in law. She has been a judge for a lot of that. She was on the U.S. Sentencing Commission under Barack Obama. She has served on district court seats. She's got several rulings under her belt that were really important rulings. And all of this is listed on her Wikipedia page. She served on the Court of Appeals for DC's U.S. District Court. She has more experience than all of the justices combined right now. And they literally tried to block her nomination. They had zero good reason to do that. She is overqualified. And let me tell you guys this goes for women across the board, but Black women have to fly when other people can just walk or crawl even into these spaces. Black women have to fly into these spaces, right? And so don't like look at her as like she's just your basic. No, she's not basic. She ain't average. She ain't none of that. She maintained, if you remember the last time we had some kerfuffle over a Supreme Court nominee, that man had a whole fit and cried about life. And she maintained her composure when she was being attacked by some really just asinine accusations, remarks, things like that, you know? And one of the things that she said, I mean, she stood up for herself very eloquently and professionally, which no man serving currently in the Senate or on the Supreme Court can possibly do. But responding to Senator Graham's inquiry about whether or not she was qualified enough to do this job, she says, I actually have more trial experience than all of the current justices combined, but thank you for your concern, Senator Graham. Just so graceful. I urge you to learn more about her. She's an amazing woman, and she will be the first Black woman to sit on the Supreme Court. And again, she is more than qualified. I wish all of the candidates were as qualified as she is. She is.
Wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't we have a different Supreme Court altogether and different? So yeah, I just wanted to highlight her because she is amazing. It's current affairs, somebody that's currently happening. She's got a history of being amazing and stupendous, and she will have a future of continuing to be amazing and stupendous. So she is not only Black women's history, but she is the future as well, our future as well. So yeah, that's her. So
excellent.
I
love it.
We want to introduce our guests.
Yeah,
I'll give you the pleasure of doing so. Let me move this banner out of the way. Oh, one more thing before we introduce our guests. I just want to let everybody know that I'm about to scroll a Cash App across the bottom of this page. If you guys, this is a Cash App for my friend, her TikTok name, some of you may know her as bashful_indica. I'm not going to get into what's going on with her. That's her personal story that she has chosen to share with friends only on her TikTok. So I'm not going to, share anything publicly like that. But she is going through some stuff and she could definitely use some help. So for the show, of course, we're going to do advertisements and stuff. But when we're not putting advertisements and things of that nature on the screen, we will have her Cash App scrolling across the bottom, which is right after the $. So $, and everything after that is her Cash App. A little can go a long way. If you are her friend, sending her love and words of encouragement. If you are not a follower or a friend of hers, I urge you to follow her because she's amazing. She creates some great content, but also just send out positive affirmations and vibes. You guys already know how well that works. We've seen it in action doing that before. So just send her some well wishes, bashful_indica on TikTok. I believe on Instagram too, if you guys want to go check her out and look her up. And if you have, $1 or $2, a couple dollars, and, shoot them her way and help her out. She deserves it. So with that said, let's introduce our guests.
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring them on in. We've got a couple of the ladies from Hava Gardens. Hava Gardens, I have not gotten to go into this location yet, and I'm looking forward to it. But it is a woman-owned and operated everything. Cultivation, dispensary, infused processing facility, community involved, education. Like I don't know why I haven't heard of y'all before. I don't know. I think Michelle, you and I just in talking and everything in passing, it's like because it's further away from me, I guess it's just not, people don't think about, I don't know. I haven't been down to Quebec, but I'm certainly going to head down there now. So
where is it? Where is it? Tell our audience where it is.
It's in Quebec, Colorado.
So I don't even know where that is.
Most people don't.
It's probably about 20 miles east of Grand Junction.
Okay.
So right before you get to the canyon to get into Grand Junction.
Okay. Okay. So that could be a reason why we don't know about Hava Gardens, but I want y'all to know about Hava Gardens because I recently have learned about you guys, gals, girls, ladies, women. And I am so excited. I read your story and I was like, it's just so beautiful. First of all, the story behind your organization, your company, and women are doing it. Like it's women are running shit over there. So MJ, you know
Michelle.
Okay. So you guys have known each other for a while and so you brought them to my attention. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it just happened, that we ran into each other and got to talking about the podcast, and she reminded me that she was over at Hava Gardens, and then we talked a bit, and I was like, okay, and then she said we were talking about Women's Month, and she's like, well, we're women owned, and I was like, what the hell? What have I been missing over here? And why? I guess again, just because our clinic slowed down there, we just didn't. I don't know. It's like when it's not in your periphery, when it's got blinders on in your areas, and so I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know.
So it's women from the top to the bottom and the bottom to the top. Yes.
Yeah. Introduce yourselves. Tell us where you're at on that, and then go into how it got started.
I have a million questions, probably.
I know. I've got your, I want to talk about the CEO and who, I want to hear all.
Yeah. So my name is Bree Kralik. I'm the director of Cultivation Operations.
And I'm Michelle Quick. I am the post-harvest director here at Hava Gardens.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Our first women growers that we've had on our show. I wish I had one of those machines. Right.
Yeah. I in a long time, I think a patient, she told me she was a grower and I didn't even plug it in and
yeah, because I'm a grower too, but I was working in a grow that was owned by men and run by men, right? Mm-hmm. My head grower was a man, and he's an excellent head grower, don't get me wrong. But like also this doesn't happen in our industry very often.
No, for sure. I mean, I think it's happening more, but it's
because we're building it, right?
Right. I think it's harder to move up from the bottom, in a lot of ways. Like when I first started, it was, most of my, peer growers were all dudes, and it was very like ego-y and that whole vibe. But if you can get through some of that and you have some people in your corner, it helps. But not everyone gets that experience.
No, it's you have to you have to work harder. You have to prove, show with the product that you put out. And I remember
circles around those dudes, man.
Yeah. And my own experience of that happening, where it's just like, we listened, we did our job, and, so we produced and we gave them, those girls love, and, it
still got paid less.
And, but and they're like, oh, the master growers, giving y'all tips. He's cheat, like you making it better for you guys. And we're like, no,
what are we here for?
We named our girls. We, like, fuck you. Like, no,
like also like what are we here for though? Aren't we here to I feel like even your head grower, your master growers should also be like, oh shit, that's a technique I've never tried before. Let's look into that, right? So like what are we here for if not to improve what we're producing for the public, right? Just a little history for our audience, just a little touch on history. Women weren't even like when underground was and still is alive and well, but when underground was like the primary thing, when there was no legalization on these streets, right? Women usually were not allowed in those spaces. They kept us out. They would not let us into those spaces. They did not trust us. They did not believe in our skill sets. They it's the whole thing that's always turned us. turned us against each other this whole time, right? We're catty, we fight with you, blah, 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 the jealousy. Well, I mean, y'all caused that. Y'all want to see it. Y'all like the drama. And now it's like, now we're in the like 20s, right? The roaring 20s. And women are like, fuck that noise. We don't hate each other. We love each other. We're going to work together to build this better than you built it. Right. And so I think that's what's happening now. But for the history part of it, the reason we have a hard time, especially in cultivation spaces, is because we weren't allowed in those spaces for a long time. And even though they're letting us in now because, you know, laws, they got no choices. They do it reluctantly a lot of times. And then we were kind of talking before we came on the show, Bree, about I really want to talk to you about living soil as we go forward, but we were talking about proprietary things, and they've hoarded that for a long time. And you were like, no, you know, whatever, you can try it. You might not do it. You probably won't do as well as I do it because I have this skill set. I have this knowledge, right? And I've been doing this for years, but you know, whatever. I say this a lot on the show. McDonald's and Burger King got fucking restaurants right across the street from each other and both make millions, billions of dollars.
Yes.
Like literally, you're not my competition. I'm my competition. And I'm always going to do things better and better because I'm innovative in these ways. And you may or may not be, especially if you had to take something that I gave you. Right. So I think that whole idea of not sharing knowledge is kind of ridiculous. It's definitely held us back in the past olden days, but I think now we're starting to see more people working together, especially women are working more together and not worried about that part as much. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think like in my scenario, it's a little bit unique, but I started at Verde Natural, and our current VP of cultivation at Hava, Cassandra Maffey, that's where she started that operation, and so that's kind of where I got my foundation and learned everything. So I did have like this experience of, you know, being able to work under a woman and under someone who also is unique in the sense that she did come up in the underground, you know, illicit days in Humboldt.
Nice.
Which not a lot, you know, again, not a lot
of women had that experience, right?
There's still some, you know, there's some rad chicks, you know, from back in the day in her community that are still doing things. But I mean, she was able to take that experience and figure out how to transition it, you know, into business and really focus more into business and figure out how to make that worth it and to grow. And so I did have that experience to work under her, learn her system.
And she's the creator of your living soil recipe.
Yeah. So she's created the system. What we've done over the years, we've worked together off and on a bunch, is, you know, we adjust to what's going on. So we try to look for ways to improve it. We have to adjust based on, you know, certain variables. Like in this operation, like this is my first greenhouse operation. So I had to tweak, you know, quite a few things to make this facility work.
Right.
I was watching the video. Do we want to play that, or do we want to play it later? Like,
do you have it?
I have the website up. Let me see. Let me play around with the StreamYard and see what it'll let me do. But while we're talking, and if I can get it to like pop up on a shared screen and then play, we'll go for it. But we'll keep on chatting and I'll go with the technical stuff.
So this kind of like goes into the living soil conversation, which, like I said, I told you guys before we came on, I have been dying to have with somebody because I actually want to learn more about living soil and how to utilize it in my gardens. First, why Hava? Why Hava Gardens? Where did that name come from?
So my CEO, Renee Grossman, she came up with that name. You know, Hava means Eve in Hebrew, and she really wanted just to do something that represents, you know, the females that work in this company. We just have a lot of women all of our store managers are women. And it's about 50-50 kind of up top as well. So we have a good group, and we have a lot of women that work in this business, and she's always loved that about that. So she just kind of wanted to extend that, like make an homage to that. So yeah, she's been out in this area running high Q stores initially. When I first met her, she had a couple stores. The year that I signed on with her, she added 2 more stores while we were trying to build or start the process of getting this up, along with our manufacturing as well. So we've done a bunch of craziness in the past couple of years for sure. But yeah, that's the origin. She really she understands like why living soil and like focus on organics is important, and she's always like followed that value even before we did cultivation in her own store. So the fit made sense for sure.
Right. So these are the notes that I have for our audience, because I definitely, when I read this, I was like, I love stuff like this. We are actually working in our product line to do like, make sure that we pay attention to these small details, right? So Hava means even Hebrew, as you said. It also means living and breathing. And living soil cultivation is the plant nutrition equivalent of eating from the Garden of Eden. Living soil cultivation is how plants were grown in the Garden of Eden. So this all comes together all in one name. And it's like, it's the whole philosophy behind the company is right there in the name. I really, really love that. I love the branding behind that and the messaging behind that. We're going to play this video.
I think so. We're going to try, okay. For those that are tuning in later, if it's cutting out of your recording, go to havagardens.com. This is from their website, and I'm going to hit play and see what happens.
Okay. Let's mute too, I guess, whenever we do. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like it's freezing a little bit there. So we're going to send you to their website, though. We'll send you to their website, havagardens.com, to watch this video. Do you want to just give a brief synopsis of it, MJ?
Why don't I let them give a little synopsis, and they know and kind of giving a tour, talk about what they're doing and her beliefs, and it's
for
cool.
Sure.
So definitely go check it out on their website.
But tell us a little bit about that, or what was going on there.
So that just kind of explains a little bit of the basics of living soil. I mean, it's defined, like, generally speaking, we're trying to optimize for the soil food web. So there's so many different ways to go about this, and there's so many different people that do it. What makes us a little bit different is that we're able to make this system scalable. On a bigger level, I think a lot of home growers can do really, really cool stuff with living soil and no-till and those kinds of things. It's just harder to actually make it a larger business.
Right.
But essentially, we're focused on mimicking nature as much as we can. We recycle all of our soil that we're using in our flowering beds, and we're optimizing for that soil food web. We're using like granular amendments, as well as constantly like re-inoculating with like compost teas and other beneficial organisms as well. So basically, we're feeding the soil, not feeding the plant. And synthetic systems, which I've dabbled in. I've seen great flower come out of salt-based systems, but you're basically like feeding the plant directly instead of allowing the plant to have like a natural interaction with the microbes that actually make those nutrients available. And with that, you can get more terpene profiles. You can get a lot more out of that plant. And the other part of it is those plants are like in a bed together, so they get to interact with each other. So like this plant over here needs water or needs something, they have the ability to communicate that to each other via their root system.
I'm just over here like listening to you like, I love this. This is amazing.
Wow.
If you guys aren't sitting like this, I don't even know. I don't even know how, right? I'm just loving it. So you kind of explained it. There were terms in there that I know a lot of our viewers are not going to necessarily know, but when you start educating yourself about what's going into your plant and those types, you would understand the terminology a little bit better. But if you could just give a basic definition of what living soil is, what would your basic definition for the layman, for the average Joe be?
Basic definition is
good luck, because I have a hard time doing things like this.
I know, I'm like, let's see. I mean, I guess the most basic way of to describe it is using soil, biology and nutrients together. So using those three things together to exist and interact with each other is what makes something living and alive. It's not just one or the other. That's probably the simplest way to put it, for sure.
It's kind of like the whole circle of life right there in the soil,
in
right?
The soil.
Giving back, like the life and death cycle of the animals in it, and the giving back to that soil and the growing of the plant, and then the plant, so that in a sense.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a whole like community in there. So, I mean, you have things like bacteria, fungi, nematodes, arthropods. All of those, organisms are interacting with each other, and they're gonna consume nutrients and things and break them down and make them available. They're also, they'll also die and also, be a nutrient source for other things to consume as well. So it's a whole exchange and a whole party down there.
It sounds like a whole party. So. So I think a lot of our listeners do grow at home or kind of dabble in it a little bit. Is this something that somebody could figure out and do in their small home grow? Or because you already said that putting it on a larger scale is actually more difficult than bringing it down.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of home growers do, especially a lot of people that like try some of the Korean natural farming practices and like no-till practices, and a lot of those home growers, they get very into it, and they have a lot of steps. Like they're, in some cases, like making all of their own inputs and things like that, which is really, really cool stuff. I think, not everyone can do that. So I think there's another lane for people that really want to focus on living soil or focus on organics that can be more simple and like suit their lifestyle. Like if you live in a tiny apartment, like you probably can't like ferment like your nutrient inputs. It's a combination of being practical while still having like a sustainable focus. I think some people kind of lose sight of that. It's like, we can do the best we can with what we have in terms of sustainability and still have a great, product. And in some cases, you're going to use something that's in a bottle if that's what works, right? But it doesn't all have to be that. And it's not all bad. It's like you're still limiting what you're using. You can still recycle your soil. You can still do all of these things.
Right. Yeah. Man, this is this is so interesting. I'm so like in awe of your whole business model. I love that it's women from top to bottom to top. I love that you're using the living soil. I mean, not a lot of growers are doing that. Not a lot of grows, not commercially speaking.
No, I think we're the biggest living soil operator in Colorado right now. Unless there's a new guy I don't know about.
Do people come to you? Do people ask on a small scale to where they can learn this process, or do you guys offer any kind of education on that in your dispensary and your facilities?
Yeah, absolutely. So on our Instagram, we're starting to shout out like, different like nutrient amendments. You guys can check that out. It's at Hava Gardens. But essentially we'll highlight some things like something like Alfalfa Meal and what its actual benefit is to the plant, and why it's one of my favorite amendments. It has like a naturally occurring growth hormone within Alfalfa Meal, so you're organically providing that. But yeah, we will definitely highlight different things that we do, different things that we use. Cassandra is a little bit more involved in that. I'm a little busy. I wish I was slightly more involved with the community. I want to get to that point, but she's definitely on different threads and stuff like that on Facebook, and people hit her up on Instagram too. But I definitely will answer her, and I will answer questions that come through on Hava's Instagram as well. We like to help people out. We're not shy about suggesting some things for people to try and things like that, because a lot of people just need like a little bit of direction. We're not scared of providing that, and everybody can use parts of what we do or all of it, or it's pretty simple. We definitely try to keep it as simple as possible, not only for practicality, but in a business, like it's much easier to train people if it's not overly complicated, and actually share the knowledge as well.
I like the transparency of Hava and the whole model. Like back in the day, those recipes and things were like hoarded to the master growers and the growers, and so nobody else even knew what was going on.
Back in the day, still are.
Yeah, it's super great here. You can go in the back where like all of the natural nutrients where they're stored, and like the recipes there, like Bree said, unless you really know, you don't know. You can grab that recipe and take it home and try to
for sure. I mean,
do it more on a home-based scale.
There's definitely plenty of things that I still, have to like analyze and kind of make the final call on when it comes to like, all right, how much amendments are we going to add back into our beds based on, soil analysis, like understanding what nutrients are actually available in there, and what makes sense to add at what quantities, that's something that takes a little bit more, research and effort and things like that. And a lot of people can do it on their own. A lot of times Cassandra and I, like, we still have to go do our own research and go find new information. It's easy to kind of lose what's going on, and the new trends and what, other living soil and organic gardeners are doing and learning. So we absolutely still go and find out new information all the time.
Right. It's important. Yeah. Our industry is constantly evolving. And also, I mean, is this your experience, Michelle? Is it, I feel like that sharing of knowledge in the workplace makes me feel valuable in the workplace, right? So then you trust me with this information.
Absolutely.
And I can be better at my job because now I have this information. Do you find that to be also true for you?
Correct. And, even just being being the post-harvest manager, I do everything after the plant is harvested and cut. Right. It still makes you feel good when you walk in that room to go grab something real quick and it's right there. It's like, wow, like if I wanted to, or if she needed me to hop in somewhere, like I could grab that and hop in and be trusted with that information.
I mean, that's kind of in our nature too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we had this one experience. We had meeting every Wednesday, which I don't know if y'all do that, but oh my God. And it was like we had the growers meeting in the morning, and then we would have like a whole like facility, like warehouse facility meeting in the afternoon, like every Wednesday. And I was like, dude, we have so much to do. It's such a waste of time, craziness, right? But in one of those meetings, one of the guys just stood up and they were like, does anybody have anything else before we, get back to work or whatever? This guy stood up and he goes, well, you guys, it's been nice working with you guys. Right.
That's incredible.
And somebody goes, what about 2 weeks? And he goes, we don't do 2 weeks around here. And he leaves, right? But he leaves with like a dirty trim machine, and like his job's not done. And so it, again, in our nature, I just go out, it's like, you want me to just break this down and clean it, or you want me to continue doing what he was doing? They were like, just break it down and clean it. And so I did. Right. And then the owner comes out and he was like, do you know how to do everything around here? And I was like, almost. Almost. Right.
Yeah.
It's important because we have to. I was working in the warehouse at the time. I got promoted into cultivation because I had to do that to get promoted into cultivation. I didn't come in with the assets that I needed to just go into cultivation. Right. So it's what it is. But yeah, it makes it, it's so important for everybody, not just women, but it's important for everybody. If you go to work and you feel like you are a necessity there, and they treat you like that, and they treat you with trust and respect, then you want to go to work, and listen to how important this is in a grow facility. It's amazing that you're using living soil. Amazing. But at the end of the day, those plants also interact with the humans that are taking care of them. So if you have disgruntled humans in your facility, your plants aren't going to fare as well. You could be a genius and still have some major issues because your plants are weak because they need that interaction. I used to come in and go out and say good morning and good night to my clones. Like, have a good night. I'll see y'all in the morning. Like, we had conversations while I was feeding them, And so it's really important to be that. But it's in order to be that, you have to feel like you want to be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And this is something like any business struggles with, especially startup. I've only worked in startups, so I'm a little crazy because of that. But
no, you're not. We know. Look who you're talking to. Look at us.
Yeah, for sure. But I think it's important just to always keep improving that. Even recently we started doing some new stuff to make sure people feel heard, and we're starting to kind of switch gears and more into educational stuff as well. But it's easy for an entry level to feel kind of lost in the crowd and feel like they're not getting information. I mean, anybody in any management position in any kind of industry, it's you really just need to take the extra 5 to 15 minutes and communicate to your people what's going on.
Yeah.
And it saves a lot of headaches just from doing something simple like that. And kind of giving them reassurance and empowering them to make decisions. I also tell people if you can't find the answer to something, go find it. I mean, I think we had to do a lot of that. I had to do a lot of that back in the day. I was super annoying. I was just like, what's this? What's this? What's this? And just, figure it out.
Yeah.
I still tell people to try to do that. It's if you're hungry for something and you want to learn something and you feel like you're not getting what you need, try and go find it.
Well, listen, you have a computer in your hands at all times.
Before you did,
go look up the thing that you're asking. Go look up the thing that you're asking instead of scrolling through Facebook talking about Will Smith and Chris Rock.
But previously you did. You still had to ask your head grower, your master grower. You weren't allowed to move.
They held the secrets too, but now it's on the internet
to do that. So
YouTube got it now.
So, and so now, the access to, the different ways to grow, the different, lighting, so it's everywhere. I mean, when people are like, how do you do it? I'm like, don't ask me how to do it. I was like, I've done it, but I don't do it anymore. And things have changed, it's like,
I will say also be careful where you get your information from.
Yeah, it's like you take everything with a grain of salt and consult a professional.
Yes. But repeated information is repeated for a reason because it's true information. This is what what works. This works.
You still have to have the ability to analyze information, understand the source, understand all of those things and take it for what it is. I mean, I think more people need to do that with everything. But like,
I agree. I agree. When ladies and gentlemen, when you are looking these things up and answering these questions, make sure you look it up from more than one source. Make sure your source is legitimate, that, you know, you can, it can source its reference, right? Like, can you go back and find this information? Things like that, you know, don't just take everybody's word for it. But there are a lot of really talented cultivators out there that are sharing information right here on this grand internet thing we have, you know, and they're doing it just because they're fucking bored and they want to share the information. That's it.
Yeah.
For no other reason.
Which is great. Which is, it's awesome, you know, but definitely, yeah.
Be grateful they're not being trolls is all I'm saying.
Right. Too, you know, that I don't think people realize that there are so many different grow methods, that it does, you know, indoor, outdoor, greenhouse, you know, summer, you know.
It changes everything changes depending on the method, the substrate, the techniques that you use, the pruning techniques even that you use, whether or not you talk to your plants, whether or not they're outside or inside, what's the weather like in your community, yo. I live in Colorado. I live in Durango. I live in Southwest Colorado, and I get different results in my backyard than other people get in their backyards because they're in a different elevation, or it's a little bit drier on their side of town, or they don't get the sun exposure that I get, or whatever. There's a million things. So within your community, that's like all of these factors matter. One of my friends posted the other day, is anybody else glitching is the question on the table right now. Hopefully not. Hopefully we're not glitching. One of my friends the other day, one of the best growers I know, shout out, Tree14, posted, you know, everybody can grow, but not everybody can grow. Everybody can grow weed, but not everybody can grow good weed. Like, you know, so you got to put, like, you could grow weed. All y'all can grow weed. All y'all can put a seed in the ground and water that bitch, and a big old weed plant will grow out of it. Can you grow good weed? And good weed requires sacrifice of time, and you have to educate yourself, and you have to make mistakes. It's going to be costly. Okay. You're going to make mistakes. And then you'll improve on those things. And it's a lot of energy, a lot of emotional energy too, because you get attached to these plants. Well, I do anyway. I like personify my plants. So even like when I'm pruning, I have to use scissors because, you know, when you prune and then you like, and it like strings, it kind of, because I personify the plants. Trigger warning. Because I personify the plant, I think about how, like, you know, when you get like a little hang skin.
Stop.
Okay. Yeah. So then I think about that, and so then I don't want to hurt my plant. Y'all, a few years ago, like probably four or 5 years ago now, I guess it's been a minute, somebody fucking stole my plants.
Oh my gosh, I remember you. Oh god.
Oh my god, I ugly cried on the internet, y'all. I just had 2 back there. They were so beautiful. There's one Afghani and I had one white lemon, and I had been given them by my other friend, the cousin. So I had been given them before he left town, and I was so excited to grow these, and they were beautiful. They smelled amazing. The Afghani was so obnoxious. Everything was so sticky. They were gorgeous. And I saw them that morning. I looked out and I saw them that morning. And then my husband left for work, and he came running back in the house, and he was like, "Babe, your plants are gone." And I was like, "The fuck?" And he was like, "They're gone." And I was like, "No, what?" And I like go back there and see for myself. Y'all, they didn't even use no trimmers or nothing. They just ripped them. That, like, you could see the breakage on the branch. I cried, y'all, because I was so fucking attached. Like, I knew exactly I was going to take them down all nice. And, you know, I had everything was No, and they were 2 weeks. They still had 2 more weeks. So they weren't even quite ready. Whoever stole them didn't probably know what they were stealing. But yeah, it broke my heart. Like, if you're going to steal it, at least be kind to my plants. Like, I worked so hard to get them here. And then you just ripped them out. Like, just crazy. So anyways, so it's important to have somebody that cares like that much, is what I'm saying. Like, that you've got to the plant is important, because what you're growing is medicine, right? It doesn't matter what market you're growing it for. I don't care. Oh, it's 420. It's 420. Oh, look at you. Look at you. Yeah. You're okay. It's time to smoke. It's 420 on the West Coast. It's 420. I just put this out too. It's so crazy. Holla.
I don't know where my bowl is.
Well, I guess we'll use this moment in time because I'm probably not going to finish that thought that I was on. Just a moment. Just went right out with 420. Care about your plants. That was the moral of the story, is care about your plants. Let's take a moment for a commercial break. Today's show is sponsored, as always, by CQ LLC Cannabis Consulting, www.cq-llc.com. Customer service cqllc@gmail.com. 970-426-5985 is where you can reach us. CQLC, in conjunction with working with the Green Flower Media, has just been approved in the state of Colorado to teach responsible vendor training. Responsible vendor training is a requirement for delivery drivers and for hospitality workers in the cannabis industry in the state of Colorado, and you are required to take it from a responsible vendor trainer like ourselves. It is not a requirement for the rest of the industry. However, it can be used as a mitigating factor to any administrative violations for your team if your team has previously been trained with responsible vendor training. So give us a call, 970-426-5985. We will be happy to hook that up. This show is not sponsored by, but also we want to give you the King Palm code for the week. It's the same, kingpalm.com, 15% off when you use code KPTCCPMAR15. That code is good until the end of the month, and then I will change it to a new code. So stay tuned for that. If you want to get in touch with the show, you can reach us by checking out our link, solo.to/cannabiscloset420 is where you can find all of our links, including our email. Come hang with us on Discord. Catch us later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And you can also find the after show on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live as well. And finally, the show is sponsored by Queen Kitty Seltzer. If you want more information about Queen Kitty Seltzer or want to know where to follow us, solo.to/Queen Kitty Seltzer is where you can find us. We do have the drinks on the market. We are working on shipping costs right now to get them out as a retail product. If you're looking for wholesale, you can reach us through the email on this link. So just check out solo.to/Queen Kitty Seltzer. For wholesale pricing, if you are a retail purchaser, you can also send us an email, find it on that link, and we will get an order together for you and send it out. This is our new adventure, Queen Kitty Seltzer. This is my plain one. It's 10 milligrams of CBD. It is all natural, no sugar, no THC in this one. It's just a nice relaxing CBD drink. It's delicious. We have bubblegum, plain, and lemon kiss available. So check out our website. And that's what's going to run this show for the rest of its life. Yay. Okay, so closed out and came back. Good. I'm glad you came back. Well, welcome back. You missed the commercials, but go, y'all are already in Discord, so it's fine. Definitely join us there. We are always in there and we're always talking about business. You might know something before other people know something. It's craziness in there. And also, if you're having a bad day, it's just a good place to go. That's all I'm saying. So With that said, ladies, is there anything else that you think, I will say, can we get last statements from you that you think that would be helpful for our audience to know about you or about Hava Gardens or about anything that we've talked about today? The last parting words. Putting you on the spot.
Well, I would just say for all the women and anybody that wants to be in the industry is just take all the steps necessary. It's not a thing where you come in and you excel like to the top right away. You do have to work hard towards that. Like we've put in our time to be where we're at today. So just don't give up and pursue that career. It's a great industry to work in. And I think overall, it's going to be the next big industry out there as far as in Colorado goes.
Yeah. I think in women's employment too, I think it's going to be, we're already seeing those numbers increase. And I agree with you. Don't get jaded. It's hard not to, because there's some shit going on in the industry that should not be happening. And there's some things that we're getting cut out of that we should not be getting cut out of, but we don't have to. We can find the right space. Just have faith. Believe in it, and always, we believe in manifestation. So say it out loud.
Hold your employers accountable. Work for the people that are have the same drive and ambition and dream for this plant.
Yes, that's so important. Make sure they're in it. It's a business. The business is supposed to be in it for the money, right? But the people are supposed to be in it for the plant.
Correct.
And I just want to give a shout out to Renee, and I know, and she still does. You guys are still associated with HiQ, or is that?
Yeah. Those are our stores. We have a new store about to open soon out in Cedar Ridge. We got a license out there. And we're looking on the Front Range and stuff too. So we're still working on that stuff, but yeah.
Well, and you guys have always honored patients. I think, with the adult use store, and I just want to say, because in my clinic aspect, I do get feedback from, we have one medical dispensary in each county from Summit to the Utah, and so to have, again, just knowing that we can, that patients can walk into a HiQ store or one of your facilities, even though it's adult use, and get a very nice, be taken care of. I'm going to just say it. At least the ones that I have gone into give a 30% discount to, medical patients. And that helps with the taxes. It helps with, the pricing of the, adult use. And it's very appreciated, at least, again, when we don't have medical access in some of our, areas, to know that you can go into an adult use store that still cares about your pocketbook and still providing you good quality products, and not some places just don't have distribution, or they don't carry a lot on their shelves because they don't have enough patients coming in, and it's like it's mind blowing the way that we have to work this system. And I just want to give you guys props for everything that you guys have done for patients and Colorado, whether you're in the medical system or not, this is still medicine. And, so
I think what you're doing is brilliant. Actually, I don't know. I mean, because you're in a small place in Colorado is why more people have not caught on to who you are yet. But
right.
I mean, what you're doing is it's different, and it's healthy, and it's producing, from what I understand, producing very good medicine. I don't care if they're buying it on adult use side or not. It's medicine.
Yeah, sure. Beautiful, the location as far as Hava Gardens in regard to some of my patients, because patients drive. If they're driving to Denver, why can't they drive to Tibet? So I think that I don't know. We'll just we need to come out, and I would love to. Do a
come out.
Yeah, we should come out and do a tour or something like that.
Absolutely.
And do an interview with maybe the rest of the stat, have everybody kind of get in on it, make it a not impromptu, we'll plan it, of course, but an informal kind of situation where we're not just sitting by. but we're like traveling through and asking questions and showing our audience kind of some stuff that they might think is cool. You know, if we could get permission to do that. I'm definitely badged. So there's that. And I mean, it's pretty simple to get badged. So if we needed to be, we could. But I know, you know, if you guys allow visitors or whatever, that could be.
No, I think we could definitely make that happen. But yeah, I mean, all of our, you know, all of Hava's flowers at high Q, there's probably like, you know, maybe 1 or 2 strains. We get some from other cultivators, but the majority of that stuff is us. We also have Octa. That's our MIP. So they're doing all solventless hash production stuff right now. So we have it's super fire.
I love it.
So we have dabbables, we have grams. We just released a was it a 4-grammer?
A 4-gram bucket of live rosin.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I love that.
We also do, you know, solventless vape carts. And last but not least, the gummies, solventless infused gummies. I eat them every day.
Yeah.
And it's a whole different experience for sure. Those products are on the front range a lot more. Hava, we're around, but a lot of it's just.
I've seen your brand name on the shelves for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, those. So those guys are crushing. They're out of Carbondale. We'll actually be in Denver at the Rooster THC competition on Thursday. We submitted, so hopefully we won one, but we'll find out.
Yeah. Keep us updated. We'd love to hear about that.
Yeah.
So they use all of our flour and they're cranking stuff out. But the gummies are incredible. The hash is incredible. But it takes good flour to make those things incredible.
Yes, it does.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so we're the love of the plant.
Yeah, absolutely. As terms of like final statement stuff, I guess. I mean, that's kind of more along the lines I was going to go, just to give them a shout out if you guys like hash and really high quality.
He said,
hash.
I want a bucket.
Yeah.
When you come and visit, we'll get you guys a little goodie bag.
For sure. But yeah, I mean, if you guys are looking for resources to learn more about living soil, I definitely recommend to check out 2 books called Teaming with Microbes and Teaming with Nutrients. It's a great foundation.
Those are both very good books.
To understand, the soil food web and how nutrients work and why nutrients and different nutrient ratios are important. I still go back and read those books and find things that I missed before, or I'm able to apply it in a different way. And then, again, if you're a woman in the industry, like, keep going. And if you want to be in it, like, you can find the way. It's a battle for sure, but
you just got to know that you are going to be required to work harder than they do. You are going to be required to work harder than they do.
Yeah.
In most cases.
I think that's, unfortunately in any industry.
In any industry, because you have boobs. Yeah. Congratulations.
I will say this is the most, women I've had in a grow before.
I love it.
Which I'm super stoked on, just that fact alone. Like, we definitely have a lot of women in retail and even at the MIP and stuff like that. But there's a lot of my entry grower is cranking right now. So I'm really stoked on that. I think it's good to have both. I think, everyone should.
Yes, of course, everyone contributes.
Coexisting.
Yeah, we should respect everyone.
Right, of course.
They are.
Absolutely, of course. It's just that, here's the thing, y'all. Buy weed from women, because we've been buying weed from men for a long time. And yes, they grow it well, but so do we.
Oh, yeah.
And
we know how to cure well.
Thank you. You give it needs. Oh my God, I love it. We didn't get to talk about this. You are the post-harvest manager, and do you guys have? We didn't get to go into some questions or whatnot, but I mean, do you guys have standards set in terms, or do you kind of give it eyeball it? Like, what are your general methods of?
I use both methods. I use standard methods, what the company would like to see, and then I use experience on that final cure and process before it goes out to the consumer. So there was too many master growers when I started in the industry. So I said, I'll let them be the masters of all of that. And I want to be the master of the post-harvest part. I want to be able to dry this weed the way it's supposed to be dried, not where it's the Colorado crunch, but
yes,
it still has that moisture in it. So you have to use a grinder.
Yes.
And being able to pull out the natural.
I'm gonna start flirting with you in a minute.
Terpenes with the product that they're growing. So really being able to study the genetic and bring out the terpene profile. So
yes, based on what that plant needs. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh my God. Love it. It is not a talked about enough conversation. I feel like we could do probably like a whole hour on.
Oh shit! Look who showed up. What's up, Born Majestic? Look, Women of Cannabis Industry series would be awesome. Bro, what do you think we've been doing all month? We've had exactly all women on this show, except for our Wednesday release show. We were in the Cola Lounge and we let a couple of dudes come on the camera for a second.
But, yeah, and it's just because they are great.
Because he owns it and he's also an ally. Absolutely. So, but generally speaking, check out all of our March episodes, but more. Absolutely, we want more. But check out all of our March episodes to learn more about women, not just in the cannabis industry, but we had a Women's Day episode from women from all over that were doing all kinds of amazing things. Women rock shit. And so I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't understand how an individual or a whole group of individuals who can be taken down with a kick to the crotch are in charge. I don't get it. Your Achilles heel is like right center mass, like right in like center. Anyways. I loved having you ladies on. I want to have you back again to talk more about what you're doing at Hava Gardens, but more about what you like. We could get you on a Wednesday show and just get on and bullshit and do the thing.
Anytime.
Do the thing.
Yeah.
This show has really expanded my mind. Yeah, well, she's always here. See, you got to show up more often, Born. This show has really expanded my mind. See,
because the party, mister.
I know. Welcome to the party. It has expanded my mind too. I will say that. I've learned a lot today, and now I want to learn a lot more. And I've actually not read those two books, but like gone through. Those books, those two books. Can you say them again?
Teaming with Microbes, Teaming with Nutrients. Author's Jeff Lowenfels. There's a couple of YouTube videos from back in the day when I was at Verde Natural. He actually came out and did a whole thing with us. There's some older content that Cassandra Maffey has put out too, as well as we're trying to put out newer content here soon. A lot of educational stuff. So we got some historical content from our careers, but we'll start putting out more for sure. We're starting to do an in-house educational video. I think eventually we'll take that to social media, but
I love that.
Yeah.
Check out Hava Gardens on their social media at Hava Gardens. Thank you.
Check out Octa too.
Say that again.
Octa, AKTA. I'm not sure what the Instagram is because they've taken it down like 3 times recently.
Oh, are they gaming you?
Yeah, but that's the brand name, AKTA. If you like, hash shots.
I just want to holla at Meek right now. This is one of my new favorite spots. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. It's one of our favorite spots too. Okay, so you ladies have been so just so much information, so much knowledge. I feel like we could have you on for several shows. We definitely want to have you back for like one of our Wednesday shows just to kind of BS and hang out if you have time to do that. Now I know y'all are both very busy. So we'll have to get you like in the in-between times, but and definitely we would love to highlight more of the women and the men on your team too. We're highlighting women this month. But we will go back to allowing men to come on to our show next month. So So we would definitely love to plan something. We could drive out and do that if we plan it well enough in advance, and really get like kind of like some really good interviews with some of the staff, and you know, I think it would be really fun, and I think our audience would really enjoy that too.
And I would, you know, even on a, you know, community event, you know, perspective, like I would love to talk about, you know, just something over in that area to connect patients with, you know, your products, with, you know, what's available to them in the area. I think that, you know, especially was it Delta that just opened up too, you know, as far as like people are going to be getting their medical cards there, and it's just, I don't know. I just grow the connection, and like I said, people feel really lonely in this sometimes in this journey, and I really just don't think that there's any reason for any of us to be doing you know, this alone if we don't, you know.
Not at all.
Not at all. You know, it's really just based on one of my, you know, my patients. He's a veteran, and he's, you know, he's like, I don't, you know, he's like, people, you know, drink and they don't, you know, and
yes, girl.
He's like, or they're doing other things. He's like, and I'm, you know, he's like, I'm in recovery and I don't want to do that. And he's like, and I find very, you know, like that's it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but I had 3 other stories just like that, you know, to, you know, in different areas.
That would be kind of cool to have like a little community event where, because you can't really share your patients' information, but if they all show up at the same place, that's not your fault.
exactly. So,
yeah.
You know, but again, you're just teaming up with, you know, facilities like yours that really care about that, you know, connection and care about.
I mean,
and that education piece too.
I think there's just not enough of that out here. I mean, you know, I don't have a lot of homies out here just in general, but I mean, obviously I work a lot, but like, as far as like just overall community, like all these towns are like super spread out.
I feel this way too.
It's harder to link up, you know, like comparatively, like living in Denver, when I lived in Denver, like totally different. But
everything's at your fingertips right there.
Yeah. So it's harder to connect out here. I would love to do something like that. I think my employees would love to do something like that. You know, we don't get to do a lot of like cool stuff. I mean, I think there's a lot of cool things that, you know, about to happen in Grand Junction. You know, they just passed. There'll be stores going up there, but it seems kind of on the beginning of being.
Yes, they're baby stepping through it. We've been doing this for years.
Yeah,
right.
It's just wild that Grand Junction is starting all over when they already had it and they were already established when they took it away. So
right.
It's we're seeing them trying to reinvent the wheel here.
We were talking, so I'm going to eventually be moving to Denver because I live in Durango. And while I definitely know people here and I, you know, I have a lot of connections, I would say, out here. I think that my growth potential for my career is kind of stagnant here. You know, I need to be in a bigger space. And so anyways, so we're discussing a move to Denver here soon, but we were discussing whether or not Grand Junction was, and I was like, no, no, first of all, they don't have an industry right now.
Not yet.
And so like,
but to your point that it used to be, there used to be a medical industry in Grand Junction, and very early on, all of that was shut down. And so, is it adult use or is it medical first, or what is the situation? I have not.
I think it's going to be recreational.
It's adult use, but you know, getting the actual license, it's still like the application process, and you know, those logistics and political logistics that happen in communities like that. You know, and there's some hoops to jump through there, you know.
It's like a small big town too. So like the MED is like right there. You're gonna have to jump. You're gonna have to jump higher to get through those hoops because they're like right there watching.
And you're gonna have to keep them spinning, you know, like
if you live, but like if you have a license in Denver, it's not like that. Even though there's a main MED there, it's such a big.
There's so many licenses.
There's so many that they can't be up your ass about it constant. But like I said, Grand Junction is a big small town.
Yeah,
like they have some of the amenities of a larger space, but they're generally speaking, is small.
I will say the MED is a little bit different these days. You know, in the beginning, it was like, you know, it was very like they were just trying to enforce rules, and that was it. I think they've pivoted a little bit, and definitely allow a little bit more for question asking. There's a lot of work groups now that like cultivators or anyone in the industry can like join to try to get some of these regulations to make more sense. And things like that. So I'm pretty, you know, stoked to see that change, and you know, it's not as terrifying if they show up.
Right. Oh well, did y'all hear what she just said about that? That there are communities of cultivators and dispensary agents, managers in this industry. You can join into a community and help change the laws to make them make sense for us. And this is what we constantly talk about, right? We constantly talk about the need to get involved on some level. You have to get involved. You have to have your voice heard. So if you're listening to this show now or later on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts, a little shameless plug right there. If you're listening to the show and you are part of the industry, you are already a working part of the industry, get involved more. You can't just go to work and go home. You've got to be a part of this industry. I mean, you don't have to. You can go to work and go home. But like, if you really want to make a difference, if you say that you're about what you're about, then make a difference. Then
and
go
talk
to those
about
meetings.
it. Talk about it. Let's talk about this to everybody. You know, when I first started working with Dr. B, you know, people would ask what we're doing. I'm like, oh, we run a cannabis clinic. And Dr. B was like, and I said it like just to whoever we were at the restaurant. And I was like, why are we hiding this? It's legal. We are helping people. Like, let's talk about this. Let's talk about it, how it helped your mom instead of, and your grandma and your dog and
yourself
and yourself and, you know, in all the different ways. And it's not smoking anymore. You know, I think people, I don't smoke that. And you even just down to the education of, oh, I don't use the marijuana. I just use the CBDs. Okie dokie.
Or the other one where one, like the medical is good, but the adult use is bad. But they're grown in the same facilities.
Are good, and the medical seeds are way too wacky and bad. And it's like,
there's also a new regulation this year where we can switch from rec to medical. It's not like our product can change over. So
that's good, but also you still have to pay the taxes on the recreational. So there's a little bit of, but it's a step in the fucking right direction. We need an avenue. They're making it very difficult to be a medical patient right now.
Just let medical growth exist.
But like basically, like I can grow my rec tag plants, and that, you know, that finished product can be switched over.
So it's a good step in the right direction.
Right. It's the same thing. It's like the logistics of back in the day when we had to like make sure our medical plants were like in their own spot.
But here's why can't we just allow for medical wholesale grows to exist? Why do we have to convert adult use to medical?
Well,
or reverse, you know, like
I agree. That's a bigger question. I think they're ultimately trying to get rid of
weed it out.
Literally. And so
even though it's a part Colorado, it's in your constitution. You have a right.
You gotta
do medical cannabis. You
fight
have
for our right, friends. Fight for our right to our weed.
So they'll say, well, you can get it through adult use, but then when we look at adult use and the taxes on adult use, which MJ kind of alluded to, how your store is very helpful to medical patients, or your stores, some of your stores are very helpful to medical patients in that way by giving them like a medical discount, if you will, to help with those taxes. But generally speaking, adult use stores, recreational stores, whatever you want to call them, are not doing that for patients. They don't care about that. They care about their bottom line. And so there's like, to tell me that I can go, oh, you can go get it at the adult use store. Well, I can, but I'm not going to have as much access to certain things. There's certain things that, you know, just aren't going to show up on the adult use shelves because they don't sell. And that's what adult use is all about, right? And then on top of that, I can't afford to shop over there, right? Or I mean, just generally speaking, a lot of people can't afford to buy their medicinal needs, what they need medicinally for their terminal illness, for their chronic illness, for whatever. They can't afford that level of medicine from an adult use store with all of the taxes that are tacked onto that.
That's why personally staying medical, because I get that, extended plant count that you don't get on adult use.
Exactly.
So I can make my own products and higher doses for me. So that is, but that's what I also love about our store as well. Like Megan said, is that it still provides a great opportunity for people that don't have access to medical in these small towns to be able to go to our store and get a decent price on our flour or whatever.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I mean,
and hopefully we definitely want to explore, like, in our future, especially in Octa's future, looking into making some of our products on the medical side, because we know what benefit they have. We're very, very, connoisseur in the sense of, like, solventless.
And I've seen a couple of other companies kind of doing that. I've seen one, making that move from, they've been successful on the adult use side, and they're ready to try a few products on the medical side. And I'm excited to see if that's the trend where we're swinging back into medical. We're going to save this industry and that side of it. So
we would love to have a higher dose gummy. Like, those gummies are great, and everyone has different tolerances and all that stuff. I'm super lightweight with edibles, but I know I have homies on like 400, 500 milligrams. And I'm just like, how?
It depends on body necessity, body chemistry. Don't judge a book by its cover, you guys. I'm glad that you said this, because I just want you guys to know that somebody looks like me could probably, like, I can't. I'm probably about 50 to 100 milligrams, depending on the medical. But I have, I know people that could get 1,000 milligrams, right? That are my size. Don't judge a book by its cover. Listen, it's about tolerance. It's about body chemistry. It's about necessity in your body. Your body's going to use cannabinoids for necessity. And if you have if you're curing your body, we ain't got time for this bullshit up here, right? We got time to do this. So I'm not a scientist. I just, this is how my experience is, where this is my experience. Lurk, go ahead. And so it just depends on the individual. But yes, some people need access to those higher milligrams. And I agree that in a state like Colorado, not all states have this ability, but in a state like Colorado, where you can grow your own and you have the ability to do so, I would say give it a shot, because you're going to get more bang for your buck once you have that going. In the beginning, it's going to be a little rocky, but once you have that going, it's more bang for your buck. But also, we have patients that can't do that. They can't even leave their house. Some of them, they have to have a caregiver go get their stuff or grow their stuff or whatever. And if they do leave the house, it's, it's a task, it's a thing. So they certainly can't be in a garden growing or doing those types of things. And so we have to have access for those individuals, for all individuals. Some people just don't have a green thumb. It's just life.
I know. It's so easy to be just grow your own. It's like,
just put in a seed.
What if I even do like the seed and growing some plants? And then what do I do? There was a doctor in Cortez at one point that was telling patients to put a piece of dry bud under their tongue and let it sit there and then chew it up and swallow it. And I was like, you're like, what the fuck? Okay.
Wow.
There might be some nutritional value in that.
Fast forward now to where we see like swans or whatever the shows are. Where
wait, pause. So he was like having people sublingual of flour.
Yeah.
That would hurt. Like, depending on the plant material, like, is it fresh, or is it like?
I did not go that far into.
I mean, there's okay.
We heard this secondhand from a couple of patients, and I think maybe one of
there's medicinal benefits to eating cannabis. There definitely is. There's definitely medicinal benefits to eating cannabis. It doesn't necessarily. I mean, it could potentially work sublingually. I guess if you suck on it and get all this terpenes and stuff out of it, you can get it into your cheeks and stuff. But I mean, generally speaking, that's probably not the most efficient way.
No, that is probably the most caveman way if you don't have access to anything else. But
I chew on the branches sometimes. Some people laugh at me for that. Yeah, but I'll like get a stick or a stem and I'll chew it.
On toothpicks. What the fuck is that about? Yeah, like so. Why is the stem any different?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably like some nutritional value in the plant material. It is a green plant, so there's that part of it. Definitely, if you do your flush appropriately and properly, grab your fan leaves and juice those bitches. There's nutritional value in there. Not a whole lot of. There are some like there are some of the compounds, the cannabinoids, a little bit, like not really, but I mean those leaves aren't for that. Those leaves are for other purposes. So it would be like residual on those leaves, but they do have nutritional value and healing value as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the leaves that are closer to the plant, you're going to have more of your cannabinoid terpene profiles, and juicing that is very beneficial also. You're going to get a lot of your THCA, CBDA cannabinoids in juicing and doing things like that. So just kind of keep that in mind. You can use the whole fucking plant. The roots are great for treating gout, symptoms of gout. I haven't figured out how to process a root, but I've read a bit about it. And so you can use the roots. The compounds that are found in the roots are beneficial for treating gout, I guess. So I don't know if you would have to like boil it, or I don't know how you would.
Yeah. I'm like, I love the juicing aspect.
Yeah, I definitely think it should be in an edible form for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and maybe even a topical form.
It on like a beet or whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how the roots would work, but I've read about it.
Yeah, the sky's the limit with this plant, and
let's figure it out. Let's figure it out, and then let's figure it out together, and let's cross brand a gout formula that has only acetic compounds in it, so we could get away with having it on the open market.
My understanding was that it was actually the raw root. So if you rinse your roots off, you could like use it as a salad topper, much like bean sprouts or the type of sprout. So it does have the similar taste to like a sprout or a bean. If you actually rinse them and flush your roots out pretty well.
Which is difficult, y'all, because them things.
and they're a good method for that.
Right, they're tough too. It's like your root vegetables, right? They're very thick and tough. It's hard to cut them.
Maybe cut and then wash.
Yeah, it's hard though. It's hard to cut them up. I'm gonna figure it out next time I do a grow.
Get a mandolin and just
I'm gonna have time for that, but I'm manifesting. She said. I'm manifesting my house in Denver to have 3 to 4 bedrooms, a backyard, and a basement, because I'm going to turn the basement in. This is my cannabis closet. So this is my office. This is where I chill and smoke. I meditate in here. I work out in here. My closet is behind this curtain right here. So like it's all in this space, right? But I'm going to create a whole basement area like that. But also I want like rooms for growing in my basement too. So I want to like have grow rooms in my cannabis closet with like a wardrobe space where you could like have a long mirror and get dressed. And then you have a workspace, you have a yoga space. Yeah. I'm manifesting that shit. It's going to happen. Super I can find it. I know I can.
Yeah, you can for sure.
Yep. I'm wanna manifest buying
in my price range too. I can find it in my price range too. That's the thing. That's the part.
Or manifest that one hard. You got to be that one hard right there.
Like, has to be in my price range, but it will be.
Important part.
And I don't. And not listen, y'all. I'm not. I can't. Aurora. Y'all got bars on your windows in Aurora. I can't.
But I can't go there.
It's not worth it for me. The price is not worth the bars on the windows. But yeah, so
Arvada.
Yeah, I've been checking out a lot of places, a lot of different like outskirt areas. I'm clearly not going to live in Denver proper.
I used to live in Sloan's Lake area. It's definitely been priced up quite a bit, but Arvada is like not too far from that. And you're still like have pretty easy access to the city.
Yeah, that's my goal is like an hour or less.
Oh, you could definitely do less.
Yeah. Like 30 minutes is ideal, but I would do 45 for the right spot. You know?
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, well, ladies, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on. We definitely want to have you come back. So much interesting information, even down to the roots. I mean, geez, look at us. It's that time to wrap up the show. Hang out for a second after we hit the button and we'll chat after the show. You guys, make sure that you are nice to yourself. Put your mask on before assisting others. It's very important. It's very important.
Yes. Cultivate love. Bring it to you.
Sorry
gotta open arm it. You deserve love. So, and stay lifted, friend.
Stay lifted. And I'm sorry that I offended with the bars comment. I'm just saying. There are areas in Denver I don't want to live in if I can avoid it. I love y'all. We'll see you on Wednesday. We have no idea what's going on Wednesday, but we'll figure it out by then. We love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. 4:20 Mountain Standard Time every Monday and Wednesday. We will be here to talk to you. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you on Wednesday. And follow Hava Gardens on Instagram and other places too. All right. Stay lifted, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.